Devaney.
Hello, hello.
How's it going?
It's going good. April is upon us.
I know.
It's among us.
Another week, another day, another dollar.
Another.
It's another episode.
It's another episode of Sugar Coated Murder Podcast.
That's what we do. We're podcasters.
Yes, we podcast, and we podcast about true crime.
We do. And guess what else we talk about? Baking.
We talk about it. We actually do it.
We do some baking.
We actually eat it.
We eat it because we're not dumb.
Because we're not dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all the while, we drink the tea.
We are drinking the tea.
Look.
Clink.
That's the clinking of our teacups. Very fancy
yes,
teacups.
Tonight we are drinking because if you didn't know, we're tea ambassadors.
Yeah, we are.
Tea ambassadors.
That's
Did you
what we
hear
are.
that? Are you listening? Lauren, are you listening? Tea
Everybody.
ambassadors.
Everybody out there, are you listening?
Can you hear me? Yes, we're tea ambassadors for a lovely tea company out of Portland, Oregon called Plum Deluxe Tea.
And I got to tell you, they are hitting a home run with me, girl.
Oh
They are
gosh.
hitting a home run.
Tonight, prior to our podcast, I made a pot of strawberry immunity herbal tea.
It is so good.
It's elderberry, hibiscus, echinacea, apple pieces, black currant, blackberry, strawberry, raspberry, strawberry leaf, strawberry essence, love, and gratitude.
Did you say hello?
Love and gratitude.
Yes.
And there's zero caffeine, so we should be okay after
We should be a little toned down after this, hopefully.
We should be, but there are no guarantees.
I got to tell you, this tea is so good. And I am not typically a fan of the hibiscus tea because it tends to be a little overwhelming to me.
Right.
This is the perfect balance of all of those flavors.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Is so good. So it reminds me of, remember those little strawberry hard candies we used to get that looked like a strawberry in the wrapper?
And they had the
little ridges on them.
in the middle of it was like a
soft.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of, the taste.
It's very true.
Very delightful.
They are delightful. And it's red. Our tea's red.
It is a titch red, and I got to tell you,
and my
it's
favorite color.
Boosting our immunity.
As we speak.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I can feel my immunity just boosting all over the place.
Oh, yeah. Back off, flu. You ain't getting me.
Yeah, so this is really good, guys. And we definitely, on our link tree and on our social media, we have the link, and we would love for you all to support us by supporting this company. And you can go on there and shop for some tea. They've got cute tea diffusers. They've got tea tins on their website, cute mugs.
Adorable mugs.
Just really amazing stuff. Really great for the tea drinker.
And the price is amazing.
I can't get over how good the prices are. I always think it's a joke.
And if you're like a big fan of tea, they've got a Tea of the Month Club, which is fantastic. That is only $10 a month.
That's crazy. I mean, don't tell them, but I think their prices are low.
They are very low. That gives you no tax, free shipping. It's just $10 a month.
Yeah, and it also gives you members-only discounts on their website.
Right.
And you can cancel that anytime. But they always slip in a sample.
I love that.
And so when we got our tea shipment this time, just a straight tea shipment, we each got a little sample.
We did.
Of some herbal tea that was absolutely, my husband cannot stop talking about it, and he's not a huge herbal tea drinker.
I haven't tried the sample, but I'll have to do that.
He loved it, and it actually got us 2 cups. That sample was 2 teaspoons exactly, so I brewed 2 cups, and he made me go online and buy an order of it because he loves it so much. And for him to say he loves tea like that is very rare for him.
Right. Wow. So, So if you want to support us, you need to click on the link that we provide.
Yes.
That's our affiliate link because we're tea ambassadors.
Because we are affiliated.
We're affiliates.
We're affiliates.
And then you place your order, and we just get a little tiny piece of the pie. That's all we get.
Yeah, we do.
Every little bit helps.
Yes. Yes. So I took a picture tonight of this pretty little tea setup that Anne has for us today with her dainty little teacups and this beautiful glass tea infuser teapot. And of course, Farmer Katie's honey, because we always put a titch of that in.
I'm on my last jar of Farmer
Me too.
Katie
I
honey.
hope her bees are busy.
Me too.
So, but in the background is our very DIY sound box and rinky-dink mic, and it is a sad state of affairs.
Yeah,
we really need an upgrade, guys.
If you ever wanted to see what we were talking about, you need to look at this picture because it is a sad state of affairs.
It's sad. We need an upgrade. Definitely. We bought this mic thinking we were going to use it 4 or 5 times and be done with it. We paid $19.99 for it. And so now, I think it's showing its age.
Yeah, and it's in a box. It's on top of a box.
Yeah, and it's in a box that it's not meant to be in.
No.
Like, this is a DIY. Like, I took shipping foam out of a makeup shipment.
Right.
From a cosmetic company.
Yeah.
And this box actually is supposed to be holding some towels of mine in my guest room, in my guest bathroom, and it's not.
No. So, and the reason why we're kind of talking about this little is, if you've noticed, over the last week or so, we've been running a campaign through a company called Buy Me a Cup.
Buy Me a Cup.
And through Buy Me a Cup, you can go on and you can buy us a cup of coffee. Or you can buy us more than 1 cup of coffee.
Yes.
We've had some folks buy us 5 cups of coffee.
I know.
And all of that money we're going to use to upgrade our equipment.
Oh,
we
gosh,
desperately
we need it so
need
badly.
a new microphone, and we
need a microphone stand that does not require us to put it in a box. So, on top of a box.
Right.
And with the foam from the cosmetic company. So, yeah.
So it's a goal. If you feel like you want to do it, we've got the link out there.
It's always nice. I mean, we want to continue to put out really quality content as much as possible. And, it's not, we have a lot of it. It's just not, it's not free.
No. And we'll just go right ahead right now and say, Mary Patrick, you rock.
Yes, Scott and Janie.
Janie and Scott, y'all are phenomenal and amazing, and we appreciate your support too.
Oh my gosh! And then there's Lean Cuisine.
Lean Cuisine.
There's Lean Cuisine. Bought us some coffee.
We love Lean Cuisine.
We don't know who Lean Cuisine is, but whoever you are, God bless you.
Amen. God bless you.
I just love. We're raising our tea glasses to all of you guys that have supported us so far.
Thank you so much.
So appreciate it.
Yes.
So
What else
I think
you got?
We've gotten housekeeping done. Oh, I do want us to give a shout out to our friends Gwen and Joey.
Joey Johnson
of
Peanuts.
Joey Johnson Farms.
Joey Johnson Farms.
Yes. So they are high school friends of mine. I actually started at the school that I graduated from, and I started there in the 5th grade, and that's when I met them.
Right.
They were classmates. And then Joey and Gwen started dating, I want to say, in the 7th grade.
That makes sense.
And they've been together ever since, God bless them. And they've got the most beautiful family. They've got 2 girls. They've got gorgeous grandchildren.
Yeah.
He is salt of the earth. These are good old farming people. They are absolutely Americana.
Oh, gosh, yes.
And so the last time we were at the lake with our friends, Sandra and Greg, we met up with Joey and Gwen, and Joey had on, of course, his own T-shirt that said Joey Johnson Farms, and we hooted and hollered over it to the point that sweet little Gwen has sent us some shirts that are embroidered.
Oh my God, they are
with the Joey Johnson Farm logo.
No
I
idea.
know. So thank you guys. Thank you, Joey Johnson Farms and Gwen and Joey Johnson.
Y'all
we absolutely adore you.
Yes.
And that was such a sweet little gift. And of course, she wrote the note that said girls.
Girls. I know.
And I miss that because that's what Daddy used to call us.
Yes.
So, we kind of miss being referred to as girls.
Yes. Well, usually when people say girls, we're in trouble. So it was nice to get a gift behind girls.
It was very sweet.
So thank you so much. It has been a great week. We are feeling the love.
We are feeling the love, guys.
And sometimes you just need it. Sometimes you just need to feel the love.
It kind of gives us a little zhuzh, a little push to keep going and stay motivated.
Absolutely.
So
we decided we're going to try a new little something in April. Not new as in we're doing something completely different, but we're going to add on to what we already do wonderfully.
Girl, my mouth was full of tea. When you said that, I almost spit it out. And that's quality tea. I don't want to be spitting it anywhere.
We made a promise to our mother when we started this podcast journey that we would not talk about unsolved crimes. But we never told her that we wouldn't talk about missing persons.
That's right. And so we feel like we have a platform, we have a voice that crosses the whole entire country, which still blows my mind, and then some. We're in like 50 some countries outside the United States. And so anytime that we can give a voice to somebody that needs a voice, we want to do that.
Absolutely.
So we've decided that we are going to look at this missing persons case. I'm just going to talk about it. It's going to be very quick. I'm not going to talk about the case behind it because then it gets into a whole rabbit hole and that's not where we're going.
No, we just want to make people aware that there are people that are missing and their families need answers. And
they're desperate.
And if you have any information and you can be part of helping put that puzzle together for them, do it.
Yeah, I think you automatically earn your angel wings when you do that.
I would hope so.
I would hope so. So this case is actually out of South Carolina. It is out of Richland County, South Carolina, Columbia. And this gentleman's name is Shelton John Sanders, Sanders. I can't even spell when I'm looking at it. He has been missing since June 19th, 2001.
Wow.
Yes. And the last place that he was seen was on Olympia Avenue in Columbia, South Carolina. He was wearing a short sleeve shirt, khaki pants, and a specific watch. He had on a black Movado watch.
Oh, nice.
And they actually, I'm going to post the wanted.
No,
I just got that. He's not wanted. His family wants him.
Yes, but
he's not wanted. He's missing. Gee whiz, boy! I hope I didn't his mother just turned us right off. She's like, I'm out of here.
No.
So anyway, I'm going to post his missing poster that she sent to me. There's a $25,000 reward for any information that leads to the solving of this situation.
Yes.
So anyway.
So take a look at it when we post it out there. Share it, forward it, do whatever you need to do with it, but just get it out there.
So his vehicle has been found. His family says that they feel like, because they've not had any contact with him, that he's probably deceased.
Right, but still.
They are trying to solve the case.
Know what happened and where
and they are trying to locate his remains.
Sure.
And so that's what the $25,000 reward for. You can always call Crime Stoppers, which is 1-888-CRIME-SC. And then you can call the Richland County Sheriff's Department and talk to Sergeant Walter Daniels. Anyway, they're still, like the poster that she sent me was dated March 22nd, 2021. So they're still putting posters up. Sure. They have billboards up. They are still actively searching just because this case is 20 years old. That's 20 years of agony for them.
Somebody has to know something.
And we're hoping that somebody does the right thing and steps up and helps this family solve this issue. So I will definitely share on our social media his missing poster. And all I can say is all of our prayers and positive energy go out to the Sanders family.
100%.
Yep.
100%. And if you have somebody that you know that's missing or a missing person's flyer and you want to send it to us and have us talk about it on our podcast, let us know. We'd be happy to do it.
Yes, we absolutely will. So,
all right. So we've taken care of that missing persons segment.
Yeah.
We've done our little bit of housekeeping. And now you're going to talk about what you're baking.
Tonight I am baking.
I hope it's something chocolate.
It is chocolate. These are marshmallow peanut butter brownies.
Stop, you're talking right this minute.
I'm not stopping. So I came across this recipe and it just looks so yummy. And the reason that I really stopped on it was not so much the peanut butter, but the fact that it's got marshmallow fluff in it as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So it's almost like a peanut butter s'mores type.
It kind of is the way that you structure this. It is so good. So I will tell you that I got it off of this website called Beyond the Butter.
Oh, wow.
I know. And I mean, that's like over the rainbow for me. Beyond the butter, it's the same thing as over the rainbow.
Right.
I mean, there's a pot of gold.
Exactly.
That's all that's left because it's so good. So, anyway, it takes 3 different bowls. So you mix things in 3 separate bowls. The only thing that I have to use I call it the hand mixer. It's not, it's electric handheld mixer.
And we call it a beater.
Or the electric beaters. So I use the whisk attachment on that, and I use that on the peanut butter. You make a peanut butter, I don't want to call it a fluff. It's
so
like...
you do the peanut butter in the marshmallow fluff?
No.
Oh, so you're going to whip it so it's almost like whipped peanut butter?
So it's peanut butter and melted unsalted butter and confectioner's sugar and a little bit of vanilla, and you whip that together. And so what that comes out to is the consistency of when we make Buckeyes.
Buckeyes, yeah, the peanut butter balls.
The peanut butter balls. That's the consistency and that's the taste.
Lord have mercy.
And then everything else, I hand whisk everything else. You don't need it. You don't need anything else. And you've got dry ingredients, wet ingredients, and then the peanut butter, and then you've got your marshmallow fluff that you use at the end.
Fantastic.
So I'll talk about it as we go along. After Anne's little.
I can't wait to smell
presentation. Yeah, so they look really good.
Did you call it a presentation?
Yes, your presentation, your PowerPoint presentation.
I've got a PowerPoint.
Yes. Yeah,
it's going to be hard for y'all to follow along, but try.
You'll hear the clicking when she's changing this, or when she says to me, next slide. Yeah, so anyway, these are sure to be yummy. I can't wait. Can't wait. Buy me a Coke.
Okay.
All right, what's your murder about?
I'm going to talk to you about my murder.
Where is it?
It's in Anniston. I'm back in Alabama.
Girl, you love that place.
That's only the second one I've done in Alabama.
I feel like it was in a row.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm back in Alabama.
I think you never left.
No, not since last week.
I
tried to leave, but then somehow I found my way back.
Okay, all right, Alabama.
And I me, I like to just clear things up right from the get-go and tell you that I got my information from latimes.com, lawjustia.com, and Murderpedia.
Oh, dun, dun, dun.
Yes, and I made a little donation to Murderpedia because they're always so good about providing information.
Yeah. I've made donations to them before, too. It's a good thing.
Yeah. So, this is the story of the Hilley family. Hilley.
Hilley?
Hilley. Hilley.
E-Y.
Hilley. Frank and Marie. So, and her name is Audrey Marie Hilley, but she goes by Marie.
Okay. Some people like their middle name more than their first name.
I know. I don't know why I never went by my middle name. Well, some people do call me Varner, but...
I know why I didn't.
Anywho, Frank and Marie Hilley were living the dream in Anniston, Alabama. They had 2 kids, a boy, Mike, and a girl, Carol. Mike and Carol.
Oh, like the Brownies.
Yeah. Frank and Marie got married in 1951. Frank was the breadwinner, and Marie was a stay-at-home mom.
She was the homemaker.
Frank was a gentle family man. Marie was a socialite.
Oh.
She was very into her appearance and her status.
Mm.
In 1962, they bought a beautiful house in an affluent neighborhood in Anniston, Alabama. The house cost, are you ready? $13,000.
Oh, they are high rolling.
$13,000, and Frank was making payments of $81 a month.
Bless him.
That was his mortgage.
Yeah, and I mean, that was not a pittance. It was, it was fat money.
I know, but when you think about the houses now and the mortgage payments and what people have to pay for, it's just insane.
I don't like it.
So Frank made pretty good money. He was a factory manager, but Marie spent it as fast as Frank could make it.
Well, slow down, Marie. My goodness, honey.
By 1974, there was a financial strain in the house. The Hilleys were living way beyond their means. Frank started playing poker at the local Elk Lodge.
That's not the answer.
Well, he thought maybe he could make some money.
Maybe hit it big at the Elk Lodge poker night.
Exactly.
Okay,
well, Marie wasn't having it. She was not happy about it. And she even went down to the Elk Lodge one night and strong-armed her way through the door and told Frank, you need to come home.
Stop it.
Frank, you need to get your behind home.
Oh, no, Frank. You got called out in front of the poker buddies.
Yeah. Frank was thinking he was going to make money, and Marie is embarrassed because it's not a good look for the family, she says. So money is literally tearing the family apart. But Marie was intent on keeping up appearances and told no one that they were having any kind of financial problems. Not a good idea. By late 1974, their son Mike was grown and ready to start a family of his own. He had moved out, at the appropriate move-out time, and had gone to school to become a pastor.
Oh, nice.
And now he was ready to come home and get married.
And pasteurize.
He's going to pasteurize, going to get married and pasteurize.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes home and he asked Frank to be his best man for his wedding. I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Frank had been really sick. He had been losing weight. He had stomach problems.
Oh, no.
He couldn't keep food down. By May of 1975, Frank's illness gets worse. So he was able to attend the wedding, but he was really, really, really sick the day of the wedding. He almost didn't make it, but he toughed it out.
Good for him.
See,
way to go, Frank.
May of 1975, he goes to his doctor, and his doctor diagnoses him with a viral stomach ache.
That's a weird diagnosis.
I don't know what's happening. And Marie then takes on the role of caregiver because they send Frank home because you don't get admitted to the hospital for a viral tummy ache.
You do not.
So she's making sure Frank's got his meals and plenty of fluids, and she's giving him the medicine, and she's giving him an injection. She had to learn how to give him an injection.
Oof.
That she said helped with the nausea and the pain.
Mm.
On May 25th, 1975, Frank was admitted to the hospital. Mike rushes to be with his dad, but by the time he gets there, Frank is dead.
Oh, that's sad.
Marie allows the doctors to do an autopsy, and the autopsy reveals Frank died of hepatitis and kidney failure.
Hepatitis?
I know.
That's
weird,
more than
right?
a viral tummy ache.
Exactly.
Somebody missed something.
Something's going on. Something's happening.
Something is amiss.
Marie gets a $31,140 life insurance payout from a life insurance policy.
Well, that could have bought her 2 more houses.
I know, but she also starts telling people that there are people after her because Frank owed some poker debt.
Oh, the poker debt. Oh,
and
no.
She's getting phone calls that are hang-ups and a note left on her door saying, we're going to get you. And
From the Elks Lodge? Just from the Elks Lodge poker?
yeah. And then,
I mean, I don't picture that as real high rolling, but maybe I'm misinformed.
well, as soon as it starts, it stops. It just stopped.
Oh.
It just, the phone call stopped, the messages stopped.
Okay,
it just
well, I
went
guess
away.
they figured out you can't get money from a dead man.
Maybe. And then for a few years, life at the Hilley house was good.
I mean, minus Frank.
Well, they had to move on with life, right?
Okay.
You can't just stop. You got to grow.
Okay.
Grief.
I feel bad because
So,
Frank's not there.
And Mike has moved on.
Oh, he's
doing
pasteurizing.
Pasteurizing and being a husband.
Where's Carol?
Carol's still at home.
Okay.
Carol is still at home. In 1978, as a matter of fact, she had been out to her high school prom.
Oh.
And she comes home from prom and is so sick she can barely get in the house. She is crawling into the house because
You think
she's
she
so
has a
sick.
viral tummy ache?
Well, she's having some stomach issues and some really bad nausea, so that she goes to the emergency room, but the doctors can't find anything. And her mother's thinking, well, she's probably drinking and smoking pot with her friends, and that's what's going on. But they keep
that's
her
not
because
nice.
she's obviously very sick. So
Okay.
they keep her in the hospital. And Marie calls Mike and says, just want to let you know your sister's in the hospital. So as they're kind of trying to figure out what the heck's going on with Carol, a doctor suggests maybe this is a psychiatric issue. Maybe
Psychosomatic?
we've got some mental issues going on here, and maybe we need to do some sort of
that seems rude.
an evaluation.
Gosh.
Like dramatic
was she-
teenager type
What
of
was she
situation.
telling people in the hospital?
Well, I think that clearly she didn't feel well, but they couldn't see. They couldn't
Okay.
tell that anything was wrong
So you
with
think
her.
it's all in your head,
It's
honey.
all a panicky girl issue, whatever. So they decide they're going to do a mental evaluation on her.
Okay.
The meantime, Mike comes to town, and he starts talking to his mother, and his mother is distraught because she is up to her eyeballs in debt.
Okay.
And I don't think she intended for Mike to figure that out, but he came across a big stack of bills where she had owed a lot of money and wasn't paying a lot of money.
She got $31,000 in life insurance.
Well, this is 3 years later. Maybe she didn't.
She just may not be a good steward of her own money.
Right. She didn't budget well.
Okay. That happens.
So Mike says, you know what? We're going to get this all straightened out. I will go with you down to the bank tomorrow, and we'll get it all worked out.
Get it straight. Because he's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
He's a pastor.
Yes, and he wants to help his mama.
Of course he does.
And you know, she's going to have a big hospital bill because Carol's in the hospital.
Yes.
So Mike goes to bed. They get up the next morning, and Mike is sick. He got a stomach thing going on. He starts throwing up uncontrollably. It's violent. It's so bad that Marie has to take him to the hospital.
Listen here. Listen here. This is a really bad Lifetime movie. It's a really, really bad one.
This is easy peasy. They go to the hospital. They see the same doctor that's seeing Carol.
Sure. And
he says, I'm just going to give you a shot. And you know, back then, if you had the flu and you were really sick, sometimes they did give you a shot
in your booty and send you on.
Right, something for nausea. So that's what they did. And guess what? It knocked him right out.
Oh, Lord.
He went home and slept for the rest of the day.
They didn't go to the bank.
They didn't go to the bank. They did not go to the bank.
It's just something else. He got a tummy ache before it's time to go to the bank.
And by the time he felt well enough to go to the bank, it was time for him to go home. He had to go back home. He had responsibility.
He had to pasteurize.
He had
pasteurizing to do.
And husband. He had to husband.
He had to husband and pasteurize.
Yeah. But
goodness.
Carol's still in the hospital, and she starts to get worse. So Marie starts giving her these injections to help her with her nausea. Right?
Okay, yeah.
But she tells Carol, don't tell anybody, because this is medication that I got from a friend of mine that's a nurse. Oh. So I'll get in trouble if you...
So it's completely legitimate.
It's totally, yeah. You know, a nurse. So by this time, poor Carol is malnourished. And she's practically paralyzed.
No.
And her doctor said he thought that Carol's illness was due to heavy metal poisoning. He said, this reads heavy metal poisoning to me. You know, her symptoms. And she was having a lot of neuropathy, you know, the nerve pain in her feet.
Oh, yeah.
So she was in a bad way.
Oh, my gosh.
And this doctor says, I think we might have some heavy metal poisoning. So what do you think happens? The next day, Carol checks her out of that hospital.
Well, I mean,
and says, I don't like this hospital anymore. I
don't like the way they're talking.
We're going to another hospital.
They're saying things that are bad.
We're going to a hospital in Birmingham. So see ya.
Of course we are.
So she gets Carol all checked in, settled into her room, and of course she's sitting by her daughter's bedside. The police come. The police come in and say, Hey, Audrey Marie Hilley, you're in trouble.
You're
in big trouble. Well, it turns out old Carol had been writing bad checks.
Carol.
Carol had been passing along some bad checks. And don't you know, she'd been writing them to the insurance company where she had taken out a life insurance policy on Carol. Can you imagine?
Stop it right now.
I mean to tell you. Way to go, Marie.
Marie, get your shit together.
So Frank's sister, who's still around, calls Mike and says, hey, Mike, we got a situation. And she also says, by the way, I want to let you know that a friend of mine went by to visit Carol at the hospital, and Marie was giving her an injection. And Mike just kind of froze, and he was like, what the hell? Yeah. So he hangs up with his aunt, who says, you know, we got to get to the bottom of this. Something's not right.
How about I got to get my sister and get the hell out of Dodge?
And he calls Carol, and he says, hey, Carol, has Mom been giving you injections? And at first, Carol's like, oh, gosh, no. And then she says, yeah, she has been. Because, you know, Mike is like, you got to tell the truth because something bad's happening.
Yeah.
So he actually comes back and she comes back and says, yeah, mom's been giving me these injections. So Mike, bless his heart, hangs up and calls the doctor and said, hey, I'm pretty sure that my mother is poisoning my sister.
Ruh-roh.
So the doctors all rush, going into Carol's room, and they look at her fingernails and her toenails, and they've got ridges in them or stripes in them that's indicative of arsenic poisoning.
Oh, no.
Arsenic poisoning.
Arsenic.
It's not good news. It's not good news.
That is a bad thing. Marie.
What have you done, Marie?
Marie, what are you doing?
So then they take hair samples from Carol, and they go in and they test it. I think it's really interesting with this test because they look at the amount of arsenic on the hair close to the scalp compared to at the end. Right. Overall, Carol has 50 times more arsenic than a normal human has in their body.
That's crazy.
And they could tell from the hair shaft that over the last 4 to 8 months, the amount had increased, meaning that Marie kept upping the dose.
Yeah, because she's like, what's it going to take you out, Carol?
Right, I got to get that $25,000.
I have bills. I have bills. I need new dresses.
So Mike then, after he's called the doctor, hangs up and says, holy crap.
My dad.
I got to call the coroner. Calls the coroner and says, hey, I think my mom killed my dad. I'd like to have my dad exhumed.
Oh, my gosh.
I go, Mike, yes.
He's a great guy.
I know, because he's a pastor.
He is. I'm looking at pastorizing.
I don't know if he ever
like a
finished that whole pastor thing.
Listen, he's a pastoral superhero.
Yes.
That's what he is.
So, as Mike is talking to the coroner, Frank's sister, she goes over to Marie's house and she starts cleaning because she's like, Marie's not coming back. We need to get things in order at the house.
No, we don't.
Why not?
I don't know.
If you think somebody's poisoned somebody with arsenic, you're going to want to find the arsenic.
Oh, so she's looking for arsenic, not cleaning.
I think she went under the premise of
thank you very much. Okay.
And then we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Because she doesn't maybe want to be thought of as I'm going to go over there and see what I can find.
Okay.
No. We have a reputation to protect.
Yes, we are prim and proper.
Anyway, as she's cleaning out some cabinets, she comes across this green bottle filled with liquid. And at first, she even thinks to herself, oh, I just need to pour it out and throw it away. And then she kind of stops and she's like, oh, no, I need to put this in my purse and take it to the police.
Yeah.
So she takes it to the police, and the police lab tests it. It comes back, bam, it's arsenic. So now we know 100% Marie is poisoning her people with arsenic.
And going through money like it's freaking water through a sieve.
On November 9th, 1979, at this point, Marie's charged with, she's already in jail for the bad checks. She's charged with the attempted murder of Carol. Okay. We don't have the results back on Frank yet. Okay. Sorry, I got ahead of myself.
You really did.
On November 9th, 1979, excuse me.
What the?
Oh, well, I live in pollen land.
I know, it's awful.
And taking my dog out 5,000 times a freaking day.
Way to go, dog.
Gets pollen everywhere. So anyway, sorry. So somehow or another, Marie's attorney gets her out on bond.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. Evidently, you can get out on bond if you attempted to murder your daughter.
Yeah, because it's just your daughter.
So it took 3 months.
She's no threat to the community. They do her no good if they're dead.
It's true. Yeah. It's true. It's very true.
Yeah.
So 3 months later, Frank's new autopsy results come back, and the poor man is laced with arsenic.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Frank.
Poor guy.
Hair samples show that he had been given arsenic for months before he died.
Oh, yeah.
And again, smaller dose, larger dose. So, yeah. So the police say, hey, we need to go get Marie because she's an arsenic-killing lady.
She's an arsonist.
Yes. She's an arsonist, right.
Not arson.
She's an arsenicist.
She's an arsenicist. Yes, an arsenicator.
I think that's a great word, arsenicist. So police go to pick old Marie up and charge her with Frank's murder, but Go figure, Marie is nowhere to be found.
Really?
She's not there.
She didn't stick around?
She did. She did
She's not sitting in her house?
She's not sitting there waiting.
She's not waiting for them?
No.
Dang.
So then they get the FBI involved in the whole situation.
Ooh.
Well, Marie never once reached out to anybody that she'd known before. Nobody. She literally disappears for 3 freaking years.
Are you kidding?
3 years. 3 years. Some people said 4, but the court documents said 3. So I'm going with 3.
Okay.
So she's placed on the FBI's 10 most wanted list.
Shut up.
I'm not
this
even
little
joking.
homemaker.
Yes. Wait, we'll post this later, but I actually have a picture of the wanted poster.
Yeah.
Of her.
Yes.
It's very funny because she's got a bouffant hairstyle.
Oh, God.
And yeah.
That is so funny.
Well, the FBI agent in charge for 3 years looks, nothing, dead ends, nothing. And he just, lo and behold, gets a call one day from a guy in Vermont that says, hey, I think we got Marie.
Oh, I think I got somebody you're looking for.
I got somebody you're looking for. Well, Marie had taken on a whole new identity.
Oh.
She dropped a bunch of weight and dyed her hair blonde.
Well, you go, girl.
I know.
Blondes do have more fun.
And she had taken on the name of Terry Martin.
Terry Martin.
Right, Terry Martin. So they have to sit with her for a while before she actually decides she's going to confess and say, yeah, okay, all right, it's me. It's Marie. It's Marie. It's me.
It's me.
I'm the
Marie.
Right.
I'm the arsonist.
I'm the arsenicist that you've been looking for.
Yes.
She's very quickly sent back to Alabama because Vermont's like, get.
Yeah.
She's formally charged with Frank's murder, and they do a very speedy trial, and she is sentenced to life for Frank's murder.
Okay.
Plus 20 years for the attempted murder of Carol.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't see where they tacked on anything for the bad checks, but maybe
a lot of times they're just like, what's the point of that one?
Skipping of parole or
yeah,
anything
whatever.
like that. So, but maybe there was something and I just didn't see it.
Could be.
Well, I guess back in the 1980s, Alabama was giving out day passes. They call it furloughs.
Oh, no. Come on, Alabama.
To their model prisoners.
No, you're not a model prisoner if you murdered.
Well,
you can't. You cannot
she
qualify.
Followed all the rules in prison.
I don't care. That's because in prison there was nobody there with a life insurance policy with her name on it as the payee.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah,
you're
again,
exactly right.
not a problem for the community. She's a problem for the people around her that are related to her.
Well, listen. For whatever reason, Marie got a couple of passes, and she was always really good. This is a woman
that skipped bail and went on the lam for 3 years.
But she would go out, and she would come back in, and she would go out, and she would come back in.
And then what happened?
And then in February of 1987, Marie scores a 3-day pass so she could visit with her husband because she had gotten remarried while she was on the lam.
You got to be shitting me.
No, so she and her new husband, John, get a motel room. Wasn't a hotel, it was a motel room.
Motel 6.
They're in Addison, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And, they spend their passionate night together. And the next day, John gets up and goes to do his thing for a couple of hours. And he comes back to his beloved, and he gets an I'm sorry note. I'm sorry for leaving you.
Dear John,
I hope that you
I understand, but I'm on the run.
That you'll forgive me. But I want to start my life over. Yep. Oh, Marie is on the run again.
Good job.
Marie
everybody involved in Marie's life. Good job.
Exactly. Way to go, Alabama.
Good grief.
Well, this time, Marie, she didn't have much of a plan. And it's February. Even though it's in Alabama, it's still cold.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a very rainy few days.
Okay.
So she was only missing.
Fell?
She was only missing for 4 days.
Oh.
They found her soaking wet, covered in mud, and incoherent, laying out on somebody's back porch.
What the heck?
Mm-hmm.
She'd been through the swamp.
I guess she just didn't have a plan of where she was going, so she hid out in the woods.
Just walking around in the mud.
I guess. They rushed her to the hospital where she later died from hypothermia and exposure. Good night, Marie.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Dumbass Marie. Dumbass prison system and your furloughs. What the hell?
You don't furlough a person who has gone on the run and evaded police.
You just don't. Just don't.
Just don't do it.
Look at the crime. And
I understand. Yeah, I understand model behavior, but figure out what the hell put her there.
Exactly.
My God.
My God.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Well, that's bonkers right there. That's a bonkers murder.
So, just in case you're wondering, Carol Hilley made a full recovery from her poisoning.
Good for her.
I did see an interview. I didn't watch any shows on this one, but when I went and searched for her, I guess they must have done an episode of Snapped. I didn't watch any of the TV shows on this one, but
okay.
There was on the internet, there was a Snapped exclusive or extra whatever video, and it was a video of her as an adult talking about her recovery. It took her about a year and a half, she said, to get the feeling back in her feet.
Wow.
So, but she was well enough to testify at her mother's trial. There are lots of pictures of her going into the courthouse, and she did testify against her mother.
Good.
Her mother was on trial. So
there you go.
Good, yeah.
That's what you get, Marie.
I know. Mother's Day's coming up. Don't act like that.
You will never get
Be a better
1-800 flowers on that day if you try to poison your children.
Be a better mother than Marie.
Be a better anything. That's not really a far reach.
All right, so how are your brownies going? It smells delightful in my kitchen.
Well, they're in the oven.
I smell them.
Okay, so I'm just going to tell you what I did real quick.
So you did some whisking.
I did whisking a couple times. I had 3 different bowls. So the first bowl, like I said, I had melted butter, peanut butter, vanilla,
confectioner
blah,
sugar.
blah, blah, confectioner sugar. And that made the peanut butter fluffy and light.
Yummy peanut butter ball filling.
Yes. And then I had a bowl that had flour, salt, and baking powder in it, and I whisked those all together. And then I took my 4 large eggs, regular sugar, brown sugar, some canola oil, a little bit more vanilla, unsalted butter, and not the unsalted butter, the vanilla. And so I did all those together, the eggs and the sugar, the oil, and a little bit of vanilla.
Right.
Then on top of the stove, I took 8 ounces of bittersweet chocolate chopped. Well, I couldn't find a bittersweet chocolate bar, so I got some Ghirardelli bittersweet chocolate chips.
I mean, they work just as well.
And I had 10 ounces, not 8, so I just dumped them all in there.
I think that's a great plan.
You add your unsalted butter to it, and then you melt those together, which is really nice. And then once that's melted together, you add in some cocoa powder.
Right.
This calls for Dutch processed cocoa powder. I didn't have that. I just had some Toll House regular old cocoa powder. That's what I used.
Right.
So, and then you take once your chocolate is melted, you pour it into the sugar egg mixture and you whisk it together until everything's kind of dissolved. And then you put your flour in it and you whisk all that together until it's all like blended together and you don't have any lumps. But it didn't take much.
So no lumps.
No lumpity lumps.
No lumps.
So I had a 13 by 9 pan, and I put parchment paper in it, and I sprayed my parchment paper as well. So then you pour your batter into your pan, all of your batter, and then you take globs of marshmallow fluff and globs of your peanut butter mixture, and you just plop them on the top, and then you take your knife and you kind of keep swirling back and forth and get it marbled.
Right.
Now, the marshmallow fluff does not go in there as easy, so next time I will do smaller plops of the marshmallow fluff. I think I overused the marshmallow fluff a little bit, so it was a little bit difficult to get that to swirl, but I just kept working it.
Right.
And then I swirled it all together, popped it in the oven, and it's baking for about 22 to 25 minutes.
I'm so excited.
So, and then when it comes out, you just cool it. And the nice thing is, because it's in parchment paper, once it's nice and cool, you just lift that whole parchment paper out and you put it on a cutting board and then you can cut your brownies really nice.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to go.
I do too. And the cleanup is so much easier. So, the brownie mixture itself is so good. It's just yummy. It's very yummy.
Did a big yawn.
Yeah, you did. I'm boring the hell out of them.
No, just out of curiosity. now that you've made it and it's in the oven, if you needed to shortcut it, could you use an already made brownie mix? Because it sounds like you're making brownies and then swirling in your stuff.
You could do it that way, but I like brownies made from scratch. I think they just taste so good. But if you want to do a semi-homemade kind of a thing where I'm going to shortcut this because then make some brownies and then do your peanut butter and confectioner sugar and all that kind of crap, and then your marshmallow fluff and kind of swirl it together. If that's what you want to do, you can.
Yeah.
But I enjoy I think there's such a huge difference in brownies that are made from scratch.
I agree. And
they're not it's not difficult.
As long as you want to make them,
it's not difficult at all. So they're baking at 350 right now. Fantastic. Yeah.
Well, while they're baking, do you have something you want to tell me?
I want to tell you about this murder.
Okay.
And it is, I'm just going to tell you up front. First of all, Mama, I am going to cuss like a sailor. And you're going to have to be okay with it because this is a rough one.
Do I need to pour myself a glass of wine?
Yes.
Oh.
I would definitely pour yourself a glass of wine, and mayhaps I could have some water.
Sure, I'd be happy to get you water.
I appreciate that. This one, when I was researching it, and I used so many different websites, I can't even tell you. I had probably 20 different windows open at one time. I did refer to Murderpedia, but I used a lot of local newspapers from this town, and then some like CBS News, NBC News, that kind of stuff, some articles like that. So, and I did have to take a few breaks while I was researching this murder because it was pretty rough.
Jesus.
So I'm just going to tell you, it's a rough one. So everybody buckle up. Put your big girl panties on. This is rough.
Extra large glass for the wine.
Yeah, and Mama, I'm just going to say up front, I'm very sorry about the cuss words I'm about to use because this is a motherfucking mind-blowing motherfucking case. I'm just going to tell you. So, I'm going to wait till you get over here because I need to look you in the eye.
Oh my gosh, here I go.
All right, we're going to talk about Shasta Groene.
Okay.
Okay? Shasta lived in, and I'm going to massacre the name of this town, and I say it more than once, and so I'm just going to say I'm sorry, Idaho.
I'm sorry.
Idaho. It's Coeur d'Alene.
All right.
Okay, so she lived in the Coeur d'Alene area of Idaho. She lived with her mom, her mom's fiance, and two older brothers, a 13-year-old and a 9-year-old. On May 15th, 2005, Shasta, who at the time was 8 years old, it was in the evening, she's in bed, and she heard her mom call her name and said, come out here to the living room.
Okay.
So she gets up, and what she walks into is a very confusing scene. It's actually a nightmare.
Okay.
But she's awake. There's a strange man standing there, and her mom, her mom's fiance, I'm going to say it's her stepdad. They weren't married yet, but that was the role that he played in her life. Her 13-year-old brother, Slade, they're all tied up with zip ties.
Shasta and Slade, I love it.
I know, yes. So before she could really comprehend what was happening, this strange man picks up her and her 9-year-old brother, Dylan.
Oh.
And he takes them outside where he ties them up and leaves them on the ground next to their swing set. It's in the middle of the night.
Oh.
It's dark. And then he goes back inside. Moments later, laying there in the dark, she hears her stepdad yell out. And then she sees her brother Slade stagger outside, bloody and dazed.
Oh, God.
She and Dylan start to yell at Slade to come, we're over here by the swing set. Come untie us. He falls on the ground and he's unresponsive.
So he's tied them to the swing set?
He has tied them up by the swing set. They're not tied to the swing set, but their hands and their feet are tied up.
So they can't get up and run.
They can't get up and run.
Gotcha.
And he's got them laying down and they can't move.
Okay.
So she sees Slade come out and falls to the ground, and he's unresponsive and can't come help them. So the next thing is this strange man comes out of the house and puts Shasta and Dylan into a truck and drives away.
Oh.
Yeah. So on May 16th, the next day, Sergeant Brad Maskell is his name. Maskell or Maskell, like rascal, of the local sheriff's department. He was off because it was his birthday.
Oh.
And he gets a phone call saying you need to come into work. He thinks it's a prank.
Oh, right.
You know, because that's what they do. They prank each other. But this was not a prank. It was a nightmare. So the bodies of a triple homicide had been discovered at the Groene house. These people had been bludgeoned to death with a hammer.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and it is a bloody mess. And as they start to process the scene, they figure out there are 2 small children that are missing. Shasta and Dylan. Shasta's 8, Dylan's 9. Little babies.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, Shasta and Dylan are riding away from their home with this monster.
Yeah.
And this monster's name is Joseph Edward Duncan III. And he is evil incarnate.
Sounds like
He is the devil here on earth. So I'm going to give you a little bit of history of Mr. Duncan. He was born February 25th, 1963. He was number 4 of 5 children. Pretty normal home. I think that's the Brownies.
Okay. I'll get those.
So you can get those out. So in 1978, at the age of 15, Duncan stole a car and led police on a chase. And so when he was caught, he was sent to one of those boys' ranch programs.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of that.
For deviant behavior.
Oh, my.
Well, I don't think it worked because at age 16, he stole guns from a neighbor's house. This is January of 1980. And with that gun, he forced a local 14-year-old boy to perform oral sex on him at gunpoint.
Jesus lovers, I'm bringing the Brownies. We're just going to get another peanut butter, guys. I can't take it.
He says, well, the gun wasn't loaded. But I personally don't give a shit. So he pleaded guilty to first-degree rape at the age of 16.
Oh, my God.
He's sentenced to 20 years.
Yeah?
Suspended sentence.
Oh, no.
So
Idaho.
Yeah.
What did you do?
He is placed into a, and he's actually, at this point, he's not in Idaho. He grew up in the Washington State area.
Okay.
He's placed into a sex offender treatment program. Okay?
All right.
I mean, what else do you do with a 16-year-old? So in March of 1982, he gets kicked out of the sex offender rehab program. He gets kicked out because he had snuck off and he was peeping in windows of women.
Oh, my God.
So they kick him out. Why wouldn't you make him stay longer?
Exactly.
So he says he wanted to get kicked out because he claims that he was protecting his mother from one of the therapists there who was a predator and was gonna force his mother to have sex with him so that he would go easy on Duncan. But I don't believe that for 2 seconds. So now he is sent to prison. Okay?
Okay.
Finally, he's sent to prison.
Well, something's going wrong because he's out. It's 2005.
Okay. In September of 1994,
Okay.
he is paroled.
Great.
So he has actually, at that point, he had served 14 years between his suspended sentence and, his sex offender status program, and then the time he did in prison. He served his 14 years.
Right.
Because he started at the age of 16.
Exactly.
So he goes and he settles in the Seattle, Washington area. So, in July of 1996, Duncan, this is what James Duncan says he did. And the reason I know this is because James Duncan III has a blog.
Excuse me?
That's what I said. And I'm not going to tell you what the freaking hell the name of the blog is, but he's got a fucking blog.
You're telling me today he's got a blog, correct?
There's a blog out there. Okay. So Duncan says that he kidnapped, raped, and killed 2 half-sisters, ages 9 and 11. in the Seattle, Washington area. He actually never gets charged with those crimes. So, but he does say that these were his first murder victims. So now he's got a taste for murder. October of 96, his parole is revoked due to marijuana use in the possession of a firearm. Instead of sending him to prison because his parole was revoked, they have a hearing and they reinstated it with harsher conditions that he's not following to begin with.
Right, he's not following the rules. So
we're just going to make them worse.
Worse rules and then see what happens.
And I'm sure he'll follow them now because now he knows we're serious.
Yeah.
So Duncan stopped reporting to the parole officer altogether and went on the run.
I'm sure he did.
April 1997. Isn't this funny? We both dealt with people that went on the run from parole.
We did indeed.
The frig. So, on April 4th, 1997, he ends up in Beaumont, California. And he comes across 10-year-old Anthony Martinez. He rapes him and kills him. And nobody knew it was him right away. As a matter of fact, Anthony went missing and the case went cold.
Oh my gosh.
August of 1997, the FBI arrested him for parole violations again because he had not been, reporting for parole. He had went on the lam. And so the FBI, how funny is that? FBI.
I know.
The parallels. So he's sent back to Washington to go to prison. While awaiting his hearing on his parole, he gets visits from this man named Dr. Richard Waxman. And this is a doctor from Fargo, North Dakota.
Fargo?
Yes.
Fargo, North Dakota.
Whilst out on the lam, Mr. Duncan met Dr. Waxman at a bar. And they become friends.
Okay.
So then Mr. Waxman goes...
Mr. Dr. Waxman?
Mr. Wacky Man. He goes from Fargo to the Washington area to go visit with him because they're friends. Like, who doesn't visit with your friend when he's awaiting his parole hearing, right? Yeah, okay. So in December of 97, there is a parole hearing. And Waxman actually shows up to tell the board that if you'll let Mr. Duncan is his last name, okay, if you'll let him out, he can come live with me, my wife, and my children in Fargo.
Well, that makes perfect sense.
And the board denied. Okay.
Thank God. I'm like, what kind of a hobo story are you telling?
It's wacky. So in July of 2000, Duncan is released from prison because he had hired an attorney that went back and said, hey, you all never gave him credit for time served as a juvenile.
Oh my gosh.
So he gets early release. And Dr. Wacky Man sends him a one-way plane ticket to Fargo, which, according to Duncan's blog, started the best times of his life.
Of course.
This monster he's unleashed out in the population. So in Fargo, he gets an apartment with the help of his Dr. Wacky Man. He registered as a level 3 sex offender, and he betters his friendship with Dr. Waxman. Okay. What is a level 3 sex offender? Well, I'm going to tell you.
Great.
They are highly likely to offend again within the community. They have past sex crime convictions and other crime convictions. They are predators. They have predatory characteristics, and their victims are unknown and usually pretty random.
Just the type of guy you want in your neighborhood.
Well, the Fargo police actually hold the first ever sex offender notification town meeting to warn the public about this man.
Right.
So, in 2004, Duncan actually officially starts his blog. So, July of 2004, there is a sexual assault of a 6-year-old boy and an attempted molestation of an 8-year-old boy on an elementary school playground in Becker County, Minnesota. And in March of 2005, Duncan is arrested and charged with the molestation. He goes to court.
Let's make sure we let him out.
There's a court appearance in April of 2005. There's a court appearance, and his bond is set, and he needs to come up with $15,000.
Oh, did Dr. Waxman pay it?
He writes a check, and there's a local businessman, not Dr. Wacky Man, another man that he has befriended, who says, I'll cover it.
I got you, man.
I got you, man.
You're a child rapist. I got you.
I got you.
Because they're probably child rapists themselves.
Nowhere in here does it say that, but they gotta be, there's something missing in their morality map.
Correct.
So 8 days later, Duncan goes shopping at a Walmart. He buys night vision goggles, a camcorder, videotapes, a radar detector, and a car battery.
My goodness.
A week
later. Was he putting on a skit?
A week later, May 2005, there's a nationwide arrest warrant sent out for Duncan. Which brings me, in May 13th of 2005, he blogs that he has encrypted his journal to the point that it will not be broken into for decades.
Oh, wow.
The authorities will never be able to get into my journal.
Okay, because you're that brilliant.
So, that was May 13th. 3 days later, May 16th, is when he kidnaps Shasta and Dylan after killing their family.
My first murder happened in May, too. It did.
That's crazy. So, he takes Shasta and Dylan to a remote campsite in Montana. We're all over the place.
Yeah.
Along the way, they stop at several other campsites where he sexually assaults and physically and mentally tortures these children. They're 8 and 9 years old.
Yeah, it's sickening.
He drinks some wine. Oh, your wine's gone.
I don't know what else to do.
Oh, drink another.
I
Just
need to
bring
get
the bourbon.
bourbon.
It was dark. I just had to take breaks, but I just feel like this is a story that has to be told. So he actually records with his camcorder many of the incidences of him assaulting these children. And he also told them that he had tracked and stalked their family for days before breaking into their home.
Why?
He
just a random act of violence.
He knew he I guess followed those two kids. He knew he wanted those two kids for whatever reason, and it was like hunting for him.
Oh my God.
He had bought shoes that were 2 sizes too big, so that when he left footprints in the driveway,
he's an old pro. He knows,
bought BB guns
what they're going to have in
shot
court.
the dogs and silenced the dogs with BB guns. He was tracking them. He was hunting them. He ends up having these children for 48 days.
Oh my God.
Of absolute torture. Then one day in Montana, Duncan shoots and kills Dylan after torturing him. Shasta witnessed it. Duncan would eventually claim it was an accident, but he recorded it.
Well, I accidentally recorded my accident.
Mm-hmm. And forensics would also prove different from what the story that he tells.
Right.
So Dylan was first shot in his stomach. And as he lay on the ground begging for his life, this 9-year-old begging for his life, this asshole motherfucker puts a 12-gauge shotgun to his head and pulls the trigger in front of his sister.
Wow.
And she's 8.
Jeez.
And he was 9. And Duncan doesn't give a shit. So for some reason, Duncan decided at that point he really wants Shasta to meet his mom. So they're going to start making their way back towards Washington State. Well, one night, in the middle of the night, they stop at 1:30 a.m. for a meal at Denny's. Because I won't say what I was going to say because it's bad advertising. So they just happened to stop in the area of Coeur d'Alene.
Oh.
That town was going crazy trying to find these kids.
Of course.
There were posters everywhere.
Oh, so he's basically come back to say,
I've got her.
I've got her and you can't get me.
Mm-hmm. Because it's 1:30 in the morning. Well, thank God there was a waitress in that Denny's and she recognized Shasta and she called the police. And the manager and the waitress of this Denny's keep Duncan busy and distracted so he doesn't leave. And finally the police show up and they arrest him. And the waitress asks Shasta, honey, where's your brother? And Shasta says, he's in heaven. So on July 14th, July 8th, Shasta had been, of course, rushed to a local hospital.
Right.
She leaves the hospital in the custody of her father. Because
the other guy
parents,
was stepfather, right.
Yes. And the whole entire town is absolutely rejoicing that they at least got this one kid back.
Right.
This whole entire family is just wiped out.
Right.
And it's this small area. It's this rural town. And there were prayer vigils almost every day for these kids.
Right.
Trying to figure out. And at the same time, they're burying these 3 people that were slaughtered.
Right.
And they had no idea what happened. Where'd these kids go? Who took them? Who did this?
Right.
So, on July 14th, little Dylan's bones are found in a remote campsite in Lolo National Forest in Montana, where he had been killed and left. So Shasta provides authorities with crucial details of what she went through. She told them that Duncan had almost killed her one day, and while strangling her, she called him by the nickname that he liked to be called, which was Jet.
Oh, God.
And because she called him that, he stopped strangling her. And that's kind of when he decided, you probably need to meet my mom.
Oh, my God.
So she also said that Duncan told her about killing the 2 sisters in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And their bodies actually had been found in 98. And their case had gone cold. He also told her about the rape and murder of this boy in California. And that case had also gone cold. So the state of Idaho charged Duncan with killing the 3 grown family members.
Okay.
The kidnapping and rape of Shasta and Dylan and the murder of Dylan was charged in the federal court because he had crossed so many state lines.
Right.
So many. So, and he had committed crimes in every one of those states with those children when he stopped. Like, it was just awful. So the evidence that was presented in the case was so horrific that jurors were offered therapy.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I'm going to need therapy.
It's just sad. So he actually received 3 life sentences without the possibility of parole from Idaho for those killings. Then he was sent to
Idaho doesn't believe in the death penalty?
At that point, they knew that the federal courts were going to push for the death penalty. So they were like, listen, it'll be quick if we just get him in there and get him charged life without parole, because we feel like the federal is going to hang him or is going to get him for the death penalty. So then he is sent to California, and he's tried there for the murder of Anthony Martinez. And he gets another life sentence without parole from California. So that's 4. So now he goes to federal court. In federal court, the evidence there was even more horrific. And they actually played tapes that he had recorded of him assaulting and torturing the children. And they had to watch the murder of Dylan on the recordings. So this was so bad that the jurors were offered therapy during the trial breaks and after court sessions every day.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine being on that jury?
No. The foreman, there was an interview in one of the newspapers with the foreman, and he said, I've never been the same person since then.
No.
Never. And he said, I'm going to tell you, he said, I went home and the security of my children became my mission in life. And he said, not just my children, everybody's children, because I figured out I could spend all my time keeping my kids safe. But if my neighbors didn't do the same thing, it could happen to them.
Right.
And he said, I could not think of anybody going through what these kids went through.
Right.
It was horrifying. So he gets the death penalty for killing Dylan, and he gets the death penalty for the kidnapping and the torture of the children. So he gets 2 or 3 death penalties on top of all the other stuff that he's gotten. So March 28th of 2021, that was just a few weeks ago, Mr. Duncan died of brain cancer. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus. My God.
He was in an Indiana prison at the time, and he got brain cancer.
How did he get to Indiana?
Because it's a federal prison, so you got to go. He's federal on death row.
Couldn't we put him somewhere other than Indiana?
Why?
Somewhere really bad.
I just don't think there's a bad enough place for him. I mean, can we ship him to Indonesia? I don't know where to put him. I don't know. Go put him in a jungle
Alcatraz.
somewhere. I don't even think that's good enough for him. Bad enough for him. It's too good for him.
Well, he's dead now.
So anyway, he dies in prison. So now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Shasta and what her life has been like. So she has written a book called Stolen in the Night.
Oh, good.
I can only hope that she's a gazillionaire from it.
Oh, me too.
I think that we should all go buy it. I don't think I can read it, but I want to just go give her money. And so if we all buy the book, it's on Amazon. I looked it up. So go buy it, and then I don't care if you read it or not, but at least Shasta gets money. So she became famous for being a tragic victim in her hometown. Her father kept her in the same area where he lived, and he wanted her surrounded by family. She had a really difficult childhood.
I'm sure.
She just wanted to be anonymous and normal.
Right.
She fought body image issues, drinking, drugs in her teens. She really just got fucked up from this.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can't be. I really don't. So,
did anybody call Dr. Phil?
I just wish they would. So in 2014, she actually got sent to juvie for 12 months for drugs. And she said it was the best thing that happened to her because it saved her life.
Right.
In 2018, she actually went on probation for unsupervised probation for a year for endangering the life of her 1-year-old and her 1-month-old children by leaving meth in close proximity to them.
Right.
So, and then she violated that probation. And when she went to court, I mean, thank God the judge that handled this really showed her mercy, knowing where she's come from. So he restructured her probation to supervised probation and just made it longer. But after Duncan died, March 28th, Shasta released a statement and said, perhaps death will now allow space for some degree of healing, peace, and closure. Mm-hmm. Because as long as he was living, she was tortured by his presence. Yeah. I mean, the nightmares that she has. That was a fucked up thing.
Yeah.
And the thing that really gets me is it fucked her up so bad, it's almost like he killed her.
Right.
Because of what she went through and what she witnessed. I mean, you can never unsee those things. You can never not think of those things. And to be so young.
Well, I'm sure she's got PTSD.
Oh.
From it.
I'm sure. But, I mean, how much therapy can you go through?
As much as it takes.
I agree. I wish that Dr. Phil would have her on because I think that she has really struggled in her life. And I don't know how you fix it. Personally, I think as long as she is not a danger to anybody else, she should just get a fucking free pass. Just give her a free pass.
No, because then she'll destroy her life. She needs boundaries.
I don't think so. I think she
needs healing.
I think she just needs to be the queen of her own island, and she just gets a free pass. As long as she doesn't put anybody else in danger, because
it sounds like that's a problem for her, though. That she has put people in danger.
Yeah, her children. Children. So
hopefully,
I mean,
she's gotten some help along the way, and there's been some healing for her.
I'm sure there's been extensive therapy for her.
We don't know.
But
you don't know.
I don't know. I just hope, as an adult, I hope that she has figured out, I gotta somehow overcome this.
Right. And I think like that is too big to overcome by yourself.
I completely agree.
Mental health is so important, and it gets so neglected in this country, and people are so ashamed of it when they shouldn't be ashamed of it.
No, they shouldn't.
It's real.
It is so real.
People deserve help.
My thing is, would you be ashamed if you got a kidney stone and had to go get help at the doctor?
Right. Exactly.
Mental health is the same thing as a kidney stone.
Right.
Or a gallstone. It's something that you can't fix yourself. You need medication for it, or you need some kind of therapy for it.
Right.
But, you do that for, I mean, my God, I had shoulder surgery. I'm not ashamed of that. I've been in physical therapy all this time. It's a type of therapy.
Right, but
and so people shouldn't stigmatize their mental health.
No,
and our country shouldn't stigmatize it.
So hopefully she's gotten some help.
I really hope so. Please go buy her book, guys, because... Or
there may be a GoFundMe out there for her. You don't know.
There could be. I didn't see one, but I didn't look for one.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
research.
She's an absolute... She's a hero because she stayed alive.
And she helped solve some cases.
She helped.
Brought some closure to
well,
families.
she did. Absolutely. She
So,
did, and got him convicted for all the things that he was supposed to.
Exactly.
And he did. He ended up confessing to all of it, but
Of course he did.
at first,
he's proud of it.
yeah, well, and at first he didn't really come clean with all of it. He would mention something, but then, just kind of skirt around
I'd like
it.
to know how long it took authorities to crack the journal that he said would take decades.
I don't know, because they took his laptop. I'm sure it took 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Please.
And I can tell you that blog is still alive.
I don't understand why.
Because he had, until he was dead, until just a couple of weeks ago, he had a fucking girlfriend on the outside that kept that blog alive for him.
It's insane.
And I just think you're a disgusting person. Disgusting, because he talked about his pedophilia. He tried to romanticize his love of murdering and raping and torturing little children. And who the hell? I mean, what the freaking hell is she thinking about? Like, what the hell?
Maybe she's also a pedophile.
Well, whatever she's a boil on the devil's ass.
Well, wherever they...
So I'm hoping that
blog to be posted. Shame on that network for allowing that to happen.
I completely agree. I have a feeling it's on the dark web.
Probably.
So, but for her to keep that alive, the whole time he was in prison, he was fucking blogging.
That's so gross.
And I just don't think that should be allowed. They should have shut that shit down.
Right.
But no, he would write letters to her and then...
Prisoners have rights.
Okay. Well, he would write to her and send her the blog in, and she would post it for him.
How sweet.
So, disgusting.
Let's eat brownies.
God, I don't think that there's enough brownies, but yes, I agree.
These smell good. I'll tell you that I've already had some.
Okay, that's fine.
I ran out of wine.
I know, she really did.
Before the court case was done.
They are good, though.
They are so good.
I love them warm. I love a warm brownie.
They're like a big warm hug.
It really is. It's like a fuzzy sweater.
Love it.
Yeah, but not at South Carolina weather. It's like if we were up north, a fuzzy sweater.
I mean, please, if you want to know the truth, we cranked that AC down to like 68 degrees before we do this podcast.
Well, first of all,
hot.
It gets hot because we're cooking in the kitchen.
Right.
And then I don't know what it is about our energy that we stir up so much energy when we're doing this.
Yeah.
And it really does. It makes we get sweaty.
Sweaty.
We get the sweats.
We do.
So, but anyway, that's the murder. And now I need to move on and probably get a little therapy.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Everybody take a minute.
Everybody take a minute, a mental minute.
Blow that bad energy out. Blow it out. Woo!
Yeah, we need to clear ourselves of this juju.
Exactly.
So, and just send all positivity to the Sanders family in Columbia, South Carolina, to Shasta Groene,
to the Hilley family,
to the Hilley family, to Carol,
Alabama, Anniston, Alabama,
to Carol and Mike for having a mother that was cuckoo.
Oh my gosh.
So, and to Mike for his pasteurization.
Way to go, Mike.
I hope your pasteurization is still going well.
Exactly. Oh
Gosh,
my gosh.
Can we talk about social media? Because I need a break.
Yeah, I'll just run through it real quick. We got email.
I'm exhausted.
Email us if you want the recipe. Email us if you've got a missing person, something you want us to talk about. Our email is murder.sugarcoated@gmail.com.
I don't even have enough energy to say .com.
It's fine. You can find us on Facebook. Mm-hmm. That's where we post our episodes to the Facebook fan page first.
Yep.
And that is Sugar Coated Murder Podcast fan page.
And you get it hot off the presses.
Hot off the presses. And if you want to be part of the fan page, you have to join it. Don't just like it, but actually join the page. We will accept you into the club.
We love everybody.
Easy peasy.
Unless you're the asshole girlfriend of this Duncan dude that's been writing this blog.
Well, now that you've said it, I hope you found her name.
I do have her name.
Oh, good. Okay, because,
I have her freaking name.
Good.
Yeah, I got one or two things to say to her.
Exactly. So, we post our pictures. You've got the link tree that's on there. If you click on the link tree, you'll find the link to
Buy Me a Coffee.
Buy Me a Coffee, where you could buy us a coffee. You've got the link to Plum Deluxe Tea, where we're ambassador affiliates. So if you click on that link and purchase your tea, we get a little piece of that pie. We are doing a campaign for the Buy Me a Coffee right now to try and raise some money to get some better equipment for our podcast. So if you want to contribute to that, let us know.
And guys, it's not a lot of money.
Or don't let us know, just do it. Just
go do it. And you don't even have to use your name, but if you do, we're going to give you a shout out and say thank you because that's how our mama raised us.
Exactly. We are on
Did you talk about Instagram? Okay.
I don't really know much about our Instagram account because I don't manage that one.
Right. It's called @SugarCoatedMurder.
There you go.
So easy.
@SugarCoatedMurder. Follow us on Instagram. What else? Our link tree, our episodes. Listen.
We're on TikTok if you want to find us on TikTok and join us there.
Yeah, we haven't done a lot on TikTok.
We haven't done, but we're trying to develop some stuff.
We're getting there.
Putting ourselves out there like that is that's like breaking out of our comfort zone a little bit, but we're getting there.
Listen, at the end of this month, we have a huge announcement. Huge. Very big announcement.
Very big.
Things happening.
We got big things happening. Yes, definitely. So, guys, please stay sweet and don't murder.
Because if you kill people,
we will talk about you and we will not be fucking nice.
It's very true.
Because people are disgustingly mean and nasty and we don't like them.
We don't like mean people, but we do like the nice people.
We do, and we want y'all to be our friends.
Be our friend.
And so please have a good week.
Yes, have a wonderful weekend. I hope the weather is sunshiny and beautiful in your neck of the woods.
Yep, and not clouded with pollen.
Yeah.
Yeah, because ours is...
a little smudgy right now.
It's a little yellow outside.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well, bye. We love you.
Bye. Have a great week.
Yep.